Today we're traveling to Wistia, a company completely redefining video marketing. Their CEO, Chris, is not only a friend, but he is codifying culture. He's a maestro. He knows how to hire, he knows how to let people go, and he knows how to update your core values. It's a great conversation. I can't wait for you to meet him. I'm here with Chris Savage, the CEO of Wistia, and I've gotten to know him over the years, and he's brilliant, energetic, great strategist. But you read his Glassdoor ratings, and it's pretty clear he cares tremendously about people, talent, and how that can be used as a strategic lever. Chris, I'd love to have you tell us a little bit about Wistia.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for being here. So Wistia, we're about 100 people. We're based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We started the company 12 years ago. I thought I would do this for 6 months and then probably sell it to Facebook. The world doesn't work like that. And the last thing I want to do now is sell. And basically, we make tools to help people use video better. So we have a video platform that's all about helping you use video better in your marketing. And we have a tool called Soapbox that makes it really easy for anyone to make video for sales or support or marketing or whatever you want.
Great. I love Soapbox. It's one of my favorite tools.
You might be our most active user.
Not quite. Well, let's go back 12 years.
Yeah.
So you found this company. How did you think about talent then when you were a small little company?
Yeah, we weren't really thinking about it. The talent we were thinking about it was like myself and my co-founder Brendan, and we knew we worked well together, and that's all we knew. And then it took us about 2 years to get enough traction to raise an angel round, which we did, and we brought on 2 more folks. And we were really nervous about bringing on people, and also really excited. We felt like we had to do that to grow. And then it actually took us another 2 years before we hired our 5th person. So we're like almost 5 years in, 5 people, and things were really working. And so we actually were very conscious, and kind of every time we were going to hire somebody, we wanted to make sure it was a really good fit and we weren't screwing up what we had going. Like, we felt like our culture, even at that point, was in good shape. And so we went from 5 to 6 and waited, and then 6 to 7 people and then waited, and then 7 to 8, 9 and waited. And actually, by the time we got to 10, we already started to codify our culture. And I remember bringing the company together and saying, like, hey, everyone, like, I think we should be talking about culture. We should come up with our values so it helps us like keep doing what we're doing. And a designer's like, this feels so big company. Like, why are we doing this?
That does seem big company, but so you were curating your culture even back then.
We realized that it took us so much longer to find traction than we thought it would, but we actually loved how the work was. Like, it was so fun to do the work that felt like the magical piece. It felt like if we could just keep doing that, we could build something big. And if we lost that, then of course we wouldn't be able to keep going.
Okay, so now you get a 10-fold increase. Somewhere in there, your strategy must have changed. At least once.
I'll have a couple times, yeah.
But so when your strategy changes, how did that change your perspective on talent, or maybe how talent manifested in your organization?
What's funny is, so we had a pretty significant strategy change at the end of 2017. And when we did that, we realized that we were going to need to update our values. And it took me a long time to realize actually that not only do you need to codify your culture, but your values, they democratize what it is to make good decisions in an organization. And so if you're new and you have clear values, you can see the values and be like, this is the Wistia way to do something, and this is not the Wistia way. And if we were changing our strategy, we probably should update our values so that people can make decisions that align with that new strategy. And we should also be rewarding and hiring and firing and recognizing good things that align with the values, align with our culture, align with the strategy, and also punishing things that don't.
Well, was there any specific element that dropped out of the startup culture?
The values, yeah. It's funny. There's so we have 4 values now. We had 6 before, and we lost a couple in there that are I think very good things, but they shouldn't be in every decision.
Right.
So one of those is pioneering, and for a long time it felt really important to be looking for pioneering things but we were looking for them at every turn, and so people were trying to, you don't want to pioneer in accounting.
No, not often. GAAP seems pretty good. Should stick with that.
And we actually lost another value, which was fun work. And I remember when we realized we should take this value out because we want people who are so excited about the way that we're trying to build the business that is what fun work to them is. And it doesn't mean it's always going to be fun for everybody at every moment, but if you can enjoy the path of like trying to grow a company and growing yourself in this strategy.
So it's not manufactured fun, it's inherently fun.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that's great. So, in this process, not everyone in your strategy must have been a perfect fit. When people have to leave, how do you go about thinking about people leaving or helping them leave?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think about it a little bit like, to use some hiking analogy. Like we were before for a long time, we're like, all right, we like hiking. Let's go hiking. Everyone, we want to hike. And what type of hiking do you want to do? You want ice climbing? Great. You want to do lead climbing? Great. You just want to like do backpacking or kayaking? Fantastic.
All hiking's great.
All hiking's great. Any form of it is good. And then when we really made our strategy more clear, we're kind of saying like, all right, we're going to all climb Kilimanjaro. It's going to be a brutal climb. You're going to have to gain weight to lose weight. You're going to have to carry up everything. You're going to, build base camps and then come back and like acclimatize and do all this stuff. And it's pretty different. And so of course it makes sense the second you say you're going to climb Kilimanjaro, there's going to be people that don't want to do that. Right. And I always think about it as helping people match their what they want for their personal growth to what the company's trying to do.
So you get someone who's raises their hand, say, this personal growth and my personal growth
this is what I
and
want
the
for my
company's
career.
hill don't work.
Yeah, and so it's really just having those conversations and saying like, oh, you want to grow in this direction? I get why you'd want to grow in this direction, but if that's not what we're going to do, or we can't guarantee we're going to do it, and you're unhappy with the direction of growing, like trying to do Kilimanjaro, then you should probably start looking for something. Versus what happened with most people is like, oh, actually, that sounds great. Like that aligns with how I want to grow my career.
Was there ever a time when you tried to save people as opposed to maybe help them be successful somewhere else?
In the early days, absolutely. I felt like it was a failure to have somebody leave, and especially people who had a huge impact on the business. And like I thought they were great people, and they cared deeply about customers, and they cared deeply about everybody else, and we'd try to hold on to them. But the problem we'd run into is that they would eventually be unhappy.
Right.
And they'd feel stuck.
So you're not saving people anymore?
Yeah, not in that way, because I realized it was actually bad for their career. It's like, oh, I want you here, you like all these people, you're doing great stuff, but it's not actually what you want for
Yeah,
your
it's
career.
like false friction.
Yeah.
So you seem pretty enlightened from an early on perspective, all the way when you were two people about talent. So, I mean, that's great. How do you get your managers to be as enlightened as you are about talent? Because it doesn't always trickle down through the organization.
I think it's a few different things. I think we try to really practice what we preach, and so everyone who's come in and has been a manager hopefully has experienced Wistia in this way. We tried to really structure our review process and make it very clear what metrics we were evaluating on and how a review process works. And so you get a review from your manager, you get multiple peer reviews. It's done at the same cadence for everybody. The questions are the same for everybody. We educate people about what good answers look like. We have worked really hard to democratize that process so that it's kind of unavoidable that people are getting the same treatment and people are getting the same questions asked. Now, obviously, you can't be in every meeting and you can't be sure of that, but I think it's a combination of codifying those things and then trying to model the right behavior.
Yeah.
And you hope that through that process, people see this is really important.
Does it make you proud when you see other managers holding people accountable through that modeling, and you're not even anywhere near?
Oh, I'm nowhere near most of it. And what makes me really proud is seeing people growing like crazy all the time.
Yeah.
And whether that's at Wistia or leaving Wistia, we've had a bunch of people who have left and gone on to do incredible things, and it makes me incredibly proud to see them doing that. If that was a better fit. Now, if they could have grown that way here, I'm like, but.
And reading your Glassdoor reviews, they're happy alum.
Yes.
Which is great. So happy alum who are successful somewhere else. Yeah. Maybe they come back when things change.
Yep.
And it's different.
Totally.
So, I've talked to you about some of your strategic plans, growth plans. You've got big plans for this organization, and you've tooled up to really attack that. So what's keeping you up at night about talent in the next 2+ years?
Yeah, I think the one of the challenges and opportunities, but challenges in being in the area where we are, is that there's not a ton of companies that are a lot bigger that you can go hire from and find people who have seen the movie before. And so what ends up happening for us is that we have to find people and bet on them and help them grow. And I think what keeps me up at night is like the speed that our organization grows is pretty quickly.
Right.
And so I want to make sure that we're giving everybody the best opportunity to grow here that they can. But knowing when, like, oh, actually, we will need to find more outside talent is always
so
tough.
you're hiring these people with effectively skinny resumes. They haven't been there, done that.
Or not necessarily, or it might be that we are doing things in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's like often we're finding people who are incredibly experienced in something, but like it's the first time that they're working in tech or something like that.
Right.
And we've tried to do that where we can, as much as we can, and that just means you're taking a different type of risk.
But you're pretty bullish on Boston.
I'm bullish on. I'm very bullish on Boston. I'm also bullish on flexible working. Like I think that we have probably 10 or 12 people that are remote to some degree. Some people will come in once a quarter, some people will come in once a month, some people will come in a few days a week. And I've learned through this that actually by having really clear communication structures, really clear goal setting systems, that actually we can make it work such that you want to work from home today? Don't have to tell anybody, work from home. You want to be in the office? Great. And it's allowed us to retain and also find some talent.
But probably because of all the work you put into the values and culture.
Absolutely. If we did not have like the infrastructures and systems that we've built, it would be very hard to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's culture and values as guide rails on how to be.
Yeah.
Well, when I said you were enlightened, I truly meant it. You know, Chris, thanks. It's a pleasure.
Thanks, man. Good to see you.
It's a pleasure talking to you about talent. You really got it.